Yeah, get it ready to get that pod.
Yeah.
Get that pod.
Love it, baby.
Will we beat Harry's to upload it? I don't know.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, let's go. 73 yards. 73. Rate a podcast, baby. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. What's this, Connor?
What?
It says, rest in peace, Mad Jack. Connor, can you see? Connor? 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 Oh. Oh, fuck.
50% podcast.
We are back, baby, with a brand new episode of Docky Bloody Who.
How you doing, folks?
We're back. We're back.
Friends and folks out there.
Connor and I have literally just watched 73 yards up in the room, up in the house. We've walked down. We filmed a little skit. So if you are listening to this, you wouldn't know about the skit because it was too visual for us to put in the audio. But I hope the people on YouTube enjoyed that little skit we had at the start. So
You can always go and check it out.
you should. And subscribe whilst you're there on the video. My voice broke. Am I 12?
I've been having a few recently.
Same, man.
What's going on?
Are we de-aging?
I might be de-aging.
Yeah, I'll have to get rid of these glasses.
Oh,
Because
that shows that you're older.
that's what Doctor Who does. When people get older, they put glasses on them.
I was going to make a joke and say that we went 73 yards down to the studio to review
I mean, probably, I don't know.
our episode.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a yard is, really.
It's a distance of measurement, I
know.
suppose.
I know that, but it's like, is it like 1.5 meters or something?
No idea.
Me either.
No idea. But that's not what we're here to do today.
Who
Today
knows?
we're here to talk about 73 yards. All right, okay, I guess we jump straight into it. Follow us, subscribe, do all that stuff so that you get to hear us every single Saturday when we dissect the new episodes of Who, and every Wednesday when we preview the upcoming episodes. 73 yards, mate. Landing on the Welsh coast, the Doctor and Ruby embark on the strangest journey of their lives. In a rain-lashed pub, the locals sit in fear of ancient legends coming to life. That's the synopsis.
And yeah, that's not really what the episode's about, but I love that. I love that the synopsis is like misleading.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you. I'm going to do something different.
Idiot.
This app, do you want to go first or I go first?
You go first.
All right. This is what I'm here for. This is by far my favorite one this season. 73 yards, more like my favorite episode, Doctor Who of all time.
Wow.
Kidding, it's not. But
of all time?
Because that's a massive call.
Wow.
Maybe in like 5 years I can make that call, but I'm not qualified enough yet. But I love it. I love the way it felt. I love the way it looked. Bloody amazing.
Yeah,
Was it
stunning.
Dylan Home Williams was the director, I believe?
Yeah.
Incredible job. I love the look of the cliff tops. I love the way it builds tension throughout. And the thing is, like, I came down here after Boom, and I knew I really liked Boom, but I could feel myself with those little gripes. I had the most minor gripes about this episode to the point where I don't even need to talk about them, but because it's like 99% perfect.
Wow.
And I'm seriously like in love with this episode.
Boy.
It's so me. What did you think of 73 yards?
Yeah, this is like, it's such a unique episode. It stands on its own 2 feet. I'm so glad we got an episode like this. It's what I'm here for as well. I love Boom, and I think now having this after Boom is just, it's kind of orgasmic. I love it. This is what I am here for.
Yeah,
You're right.
Respect.
It looks stunning. I mean, Millie killed it.
Oh my goodness.
The fact that the Doctor isn't in it, he's in it for literally like 5 minutes, maybe less. And it is
we
Doctor
chuckled in
live.
the episode, didn't we? Because it was
Yeah,
like
it really was quick.
30 seconds in,
Yeah.
the doc's gone, and we're like, oh,
And
bye,
also,
Shooty.
and also because they had released a clip of that scene as well. So
Yeah.
a lot of it, we had already seen, and then he was just gone.
Yeah.
And I think that despite it being a Doctor light, I think it's like, I can see people making the argument like, well, this isn't Doctor Who.
Ruby who?
But more just
That's the question of the series, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I more mean I can understand it being very different to what people have seen in the past. I can see why people don't like this episode. I am not one of them.
Do people not like this episode?
I've seen a little bit of discourse. I try not to go on Twitter before doing these reviews, but I get a little bit of a sticky beak, folks.
Oh, mate, you're like
I like to
you're a cheater.
I like to see what people are thinking, and some people are saying like, I don't know what to think about that, and blah 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 blah.
Oh, bro, 100%.
But I've seen some people say it just doesn't feel like Doctor Who. I am not one of those people. I'm here for, I can put up with the space babies and the probably dot and bubbles.
Yeah.
Stuff like this. This is why I tune into Doctor Who each week. This is why I get up at 6.
If people say this isn't Doctor Who, it's like, this is like another turn left. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that same vibe. Like, I don't know how you can make that argument. And
it's 61 years old, man. The show needs to... It'd be
different.
It would get so stale if we just keep doing the Cybermen coming out of the London Underground, as my dad always says.
When this episode finished, though, straight up, and I still don't know. I was like, I don't know what the fuck happened at the end there, but like,
I have a little bit, I guess, yeah.
I need to process it. I need to sit it. I need to eat it again, regurgitate it, and watch it a few times to soak that in, because there's a lot going on there. And as it sort of wrapped up the Roger App Williams plot, God, there's so much to talk about in this episode.
So much, yeah.
As it wrapped up that plot, I was sort of like, okay, so we're coming to the end. I know some of the reviews said it'll stick with you, the ending. And I was like, it's not going to... This is politics. Politics. So I was like...
can carry the coats. The editing was so good in this episode.
Very good, very good. So well made. But I was like, I don't see this sticking with me. And then like it ended. And I was like, fuck.
I see.
That was me, man. I was like, this has fucked me up. Like, it's just crazy. I love that shot of the hands at the end. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, I see.
It just shows you that you couldn't do an episode without, like, a huge Disney budget with CGI and effects. And it's just, we're just looking at beautiful Wales.
Yeah, the location filming.
Wides were beautiful.
The whole episode,
exactly.
Like, whole episode was shot on so much location filming, and it just is so nice.
It's not easy, and you got to respect it.
Yeah.
And this was the first of the filming blocks, if you didn't know.
Yeah, I think this was the first episode they filmed across the board.
It would have been Shooty's first.
Yeah, although he did the giggle.
So, of course.
But
what a dumbass. Yeah, true.
But
yeah,
a big takeaway by the end of the episode that I found, which I didn't even notice it happening, was how good Millie was, to the point where when we came back at the end and showed that scene from the start of the episode, I was like, holy shit, that's a transformation. Like, throughout the episode, we've seen like Millie transform Ruby to the point where when we cut back to her, a decade ago, I don't know quite how long this episode runs, but I mean, she ends up old in the end, so like a whole lifetime.
Yes.
But when we cut back to young Ruby, I was like, damn, that performance is so different than how Millie is in her last scenes of the episode before they change actor. Like, I think she did such a fantastic job, but especially for episode 1, episode 1 for her is insane.
It would have been make or break, I think.
Yeah.
And the episode, I'm talking just as a companion, just as being like an episode of Doctor Who with a Doctor Light.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot could have gone wrong,
mm-hmm.
and I think somehow it just really worked.
Mm-hmm.
It
always does with Russell, these like weird ones.
Yes.
Except Love and Monsters.
I love Love and Monsters, to be fair, but I think that this is the kind of thing that we need, and I can really just respect the fact that we got an episode like this.
Yeah.
I love that we do.
Yeah. It's nuts.
I wasn't even mad that that whole Mad Jack scene in the pub, the way it was shot and the score,
the Dutch tilts,
and the Dutch
lighting,
tilts, it was really close, like big close-ups.
Yeah.
I think I could kind of see the punchline being the guy at the door with the pasties, but it was funny.
Yeah,
and the joke worked.
I knew,
and it's just like
I know Russell's humor down to a T. Like, I knew that what was happening there.
But I think it worked.
Yeah,
like I think it worked, and it was just funny, and I can appreciate it. Like it tonally, the episode changes so much, but it didn't feel like jagged and like, it's like, oh, hang on, wait, I'm not done with it. Oh, no, we're here, and then we're doing that, and I don't know what's going on. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think it just, it moved very well.
Yeah, it does.
Pacing wise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I like, when we were getting to the politics stuff, I was like, I don't know, like, what runtime, like what are we up to in the episode timeline. I had no idea how long
it
it
glitched out at one point for some reason, Disney Plus, and it said we had like 25 minutes left, and I was so happy.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't mad. I was like, I mean this in the nicest way possible. This episode felt long.
It did, didn't it?
But I mean that, I don't mean that in a bad way. Sometimes you can be like, oh, it dragged on. It felt really long.
Yeah.
But
I think this is one of those episodes, like pacing wise, where it's like I think I can watch it a couple times and then I might just have to let it be because it is so. It's like slow burn. Like if I watch slow burn movies, which I love, I can only watch them like a couple times, then I sort of have to take a break for a few months because they are slow. It doesn't feed your that like millennial Zoomer brain as much as you'd like. But
Aiden's TikTok brain,
which is not a criticism of the episode at all. All right, so they land on the cliff top.
We are vanishes. In Wales.
We're in Wales. Been there, seen that. As
he says the candidate's name that we see at the end of the episode.
Yeah, Roger App Williams.
Roger App Williams. Yeah.
And then the Doctor very quickly vanishes, and we have this great scene. So Ruby seeing the figure far away. This is my like 1% gripe was that I thought that very first start of it when Ruby saw the old woman or the old version of her maybe.
Who knows?
It is when she walks forward. I don't think you could quite tell that the figure was moving back, but maybe that was just me on first watch. Maybe
I was the same. I was like, oh, is
you
she
couldn't?
going? Yes.
Yeah, you couldn't tell that the old lady was moving back, and I feel like I clicked onto it very quick because I knew the premise of the episode being 73 yards. But then they do later sort of show it
in a really amazing way. That scene on the train is so great.
Oh, so good. So good. But then we also have Susan Twist.
Yes. I'm so mad. You're so right about the cast list saying who they're playing.
Yeah.
And I have seen who they're playing next week. I won't say.
I haven't.
But I won't say. But it's just annoying.
It would have been
a really cool... It's a cool surprise. I got to stop looking.
Yeah, I'm
going to stop for the next 3.
For Dot and Bobble, I went and looked and saw that she was on the cast list, and then I made sure I didn't actually look across the cast list to see.
Well, yeah, she'll be in every episode, but it's like, it'll be a nice surprise to not know who she is. But yeah, she was playing the hiker, and Ruby did kind of recognize her.
Yeah, so now we're sort of starting to stitch it together for the audience. So like general viewers and stuff that maybe haven't been tracking the Susan Twist, the recurrence of Susan Twist since Wild Blue Yonder, and so now we can sort of see. They're sort of pointing it out and starting to point fingers towards, don't you recognize her? But she plays like a really fun character in this one. I thought this is my favorite Susan Twist appearance.
Yeah, so either she's lying or she doesn't know about the Doctor and stuff. She's like, do you need a Dr. Love? Is that who you're after?
Yeah, I don't know if she's like playing. Like,
I think she is. She must be. Why else is she everywhere?
Yeah.
Is it the same character or are there just multiple Susan Twists?
I don't know. Like, is this a Clara situation?
Maybe a Clara situation, yeah.
And then Susan Twist is the very first person that we see go up to the 73 yards lady, scream and run away. Like,
I like that we don't really know what they say because I feel like the explanation would never been as good as like the speculation.
Oh, Russell does that so fucking well. That's like Midnight all over again, isn't it?
Exactly. Like if you knew the Midnight, what the creature looked like, or why it was doing it, it wouldn't be a classic.
Yeah.
And I feel like the explanation would never have been as good as your imagination. It's like it's like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
What's in there?
Nobody knows.
Your imagination is so much better than what actually could be in there. I think Tarantino even said that. Like
probably
the
feet.
Imagination. Feet.
Tarantino would love that.
But that's what he would have thought.
Yeah, that's Tarantino's
our
theory.
biggest fear is what maybe they would have heard.
What would be in your suitcase?
Maybe a spider, like a really big spider. I'm really scared of spiders. Well, I can't fit, abandonment and loneliness or death in a suitcase.
That took a turn.
Yeah, just a skull.
Mine would be
death.
Mine would be a skull with like Fremantle Premiership.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It'll be like Fremantle Premiership, and then the year after I die on the flag. So like I never get to witness a premiership.
They win the
year after I die. Yeah,
right.
And then I'll be like, fuck. Then I'll be sad. Now I'm sad.
Me just listening to the show last week and just hearing you bring up Freo every fucking week. I'm just like, this is so
What do you mean every
stupid.
week?
No one knows what the fuck you're talking about. What? Anyway.
To the pub.
Yes. I love the pub scene.
It's like so tense but so fun. Like all the jokes they
I love
keep
the
pulling.
phone joke.
Oh, the phone joke. Oh, it got me.
Yeah.
It's so written by an old man.
But I think it's funny. It worked for me. It really worked for me.
Even like we were sort of talking about it before, when you build up tension and it just leads to a joke, sometimes can sort of not land because you want there to be like a jump scare. You want the tension to build, whereas instead of building and have like a terrifying payoff, the payoff is a joke. And sometimes in Doctor Who, that comes off a bit silly. But in this, it really worked. It really built up to it. And I think because of how tense the episode was, those little light-hearted things were just like a nice little breath, a little moment to catch your breath through the episode.
I think as well though, like it's realistic. Like we've all been to a pub in a town or a city that we're not from, and the locals can treat you differently. You know, we have a thing here called drop bears, which is a thing that you meme on like new travelers.
Yeah, if you come to Australia, watch out for those drop bears.
Yeah, it's like their Mad Jack was our drop bear.
Yeah,
you know, and I think the reason why the joke landed for me and the scene landed for me and wasn't like, oh, what? It's not real. It's because, you know, locals are like that.
Yeah. Do you know what the strangest? I mean, I've had a fair few traveling experiences with strangers that have been weird, but one of the weirdest ones was actually just like 2 hours down south from here, and I went to a petrol station, and I was
Where was it, sorry?
I think I was on my way down to Albany, and I was just filling up halfway through, and I got some sausage rolls, and I went in and I was like, oh, can I have a sausage roll? And they're like, yeah, do you want any sauce? And I think I said, yeah.
Surprise me.
I said, yeah, ketchup, please. And then you know what she said? She said, you're not in England anymore. It's tomato sauce. And I went, okay. Can I have some tomato sauce, please? I think I got that. It might be the other way around. But and then when I was down south, a separate time when I was in Margaret River, I walked into a pub, just ordered drinks, and the bartender went, you're not from around here, are you? And I said, no. How could you tell? And they were like, you look like you're from the city, but you've dressed to be in the country. And I went, great. I don't know what to do with that information, but thank you. That is pretty much what I've done.
I was in a pub in Margaret River, and this chain, the original necklace part snapped because I went to sneeze and accidentally cut my thumbs around it and went, whoosh, and it just snapped it. And I just went up to the bar and I said to the guy, you know, this is like a family. It's a piece of my family here. It's like, I really want to get it fixed. And he said, listen, mate, we know you're not from around here. I guarantee you, if you put that in one of the local places, you ain't getting it back. I swear to God, that's what he said.
Anyways, 73 yards.
You ain't getting it back.
But 73 yards. All right, so we then sort of, Ruby stays at the pub for a long time. Mm-hmm. She's looking out that window all the time. She's always looking at that bad boy. And do you know why? Everyone's saying that these glasses are just there to age Ruby, which definitely they are. But I think it's like a subtle thing because she's always looking so far in the distance.
She has to get glasses to improve her vision.
She's like strained her eyesight because she's always looking. She's like always squinting to try and see what that figure looks like.
Oh, I see.
That's what I think it's about. That's why she's got glasses.
Right, okay.
Yeah, which I think makes sense.
I love the train scene. I love
spotting, more like 73 yard spotting. What a terrible joke.
I love that we get to see.
That was to myself.
Thank you, Aiden. I love that we get to see her in the fields and all that as Ruby's going on the street. Train. And I love seeing Carla and Cherry again.
The girls are back.
Do you know what I thought? Oh, we get to see Mrs. Flood. Do you know what I really thought? It's like, wow, I'm like, it's so nice to know these characters from the Christmas special and where they're all developed and they can just do a story like this where they can just jump straight back in and be, you already know the characters and stuff. It was really great to see Mrs. Flood again. No idea what that woman is doing.
I don't think we're doing Miss Flood this season. I think that's season 2 because I just don't think they've like pressed her enough this season because they've got so many other plot lines going on. I don't think they've pushed her enough this season to be like, this is a big plot point this season, you know?
It was really cool to see her though.
It was, yeah.
I remember seeing all the filming stuff for this being done, and
I kind of hated. I knew that Carla ran away because I remember seeing stuff of like Carla like screaming and running away, and so when they were out there on the phone, I was like, oh, she's gonna run away. And
love that scene. Love how it was shot. All the slow-mo was great.
The slow-mo.
The one thing I didn't like was just how quickly she got into a cab. It was like instantly in a cab. Apart from that,
if this was Perth, it'd be like she'd be like waiting 15 minutes for an Uber.
Yeah, waiting 20 minutes for the Uber to rock up.
Yeah,
and it costs you $150 to drive 30 minutes.
But you could argue, wouldn't be as emotional of a scene had we then
sure.
seen Ruby staring with Carla just on an Uber, like trying to come on.
A brief stare out, like,
yeah, where's this Toyota Harris at?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'll just walk. I'll just slow my walk by. No, I agree. It's like you said, my only faults of this episode are small little gripes.
Yeah.
But we are nitpicky, baby.
Yeah. No, that my only nitpicky thing was that one bit towards the start. But from there,
I love that she kept going back, and even your own mum didn't want you, and the snow was on top of
so that was Ruby snow.
Was Ruby snow.
Because there was other snow in this episode, and me and Connor were like, is this Ruby snow, or is this just natural snow? It's hard to tell.
And then you see the snow in the graveyard, so unless Ruby's having a hell of a day.
Oh, she's thinking a lot about her mum that day, mate.
I loved how it was snowing with the glass paneling on the top of the roof.
Very nice.
The glass roof was stopping from coming in.
Yeah.
Stunning shot. This episode was so well directed. I loved it.
A lot of like symbolism in some of the shots I thought as well, which was really nice.
Absolutely. It was beautiful.
A big shout out to Murray. I think we're not giving Murray enough credit this season. I think
it's so great to have him back.
He did a really good job on season 10, but there was still like some repurposed scores sometimes, and some like, you know, some stuff that was just like, oh, here's your action music, or like overusing Bill's theme a little bit. Which the big thing that I've found with this is that I think Ruby's theme is not being overplayed. It played
right near the end, didn't it?
It played near the end, which was like quite earned. And then like the Doctor's theme, we didn't even get that this episode, obviously, because the Doctor's not in it. But like they're not overusing the Doctor's theme. So I think Murray's doing a really good job this week at this season at just really just giving Doctor Who a new life.
When it hits, you know.
Baby, yeah, it does.
I think as well, I think sometimes great score is that you almost it just becomes part of the episode. You almost don't notice
Which
it.
I really love that, yeah.
I know it sounds like you're not enjoying it, but you almost don't notice it. It becomes part of the episode. And that's what Murray does is so great at.
And I think the best composers, which I think sometimes is maybe a downside to Murray, but I think he did a good job in this episode, is sometimes just like leaving it to silence. Like the scene in the pub where you could just hear the rain in the background. Brilliant. Beautiful. Like I love when it
gives him a break, a little less work to do.
He puts the sticks down for once in his life.
The sticks. There's one stick. That's an old bit of the show.
No, multiple sticks.
But the two sticks.
He's got that much music to score. He has so many sticks.
He's doing one that way and one this way.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Also, I don't think he does the sticks anymore.
He doesn't. That's like Ben Foster, isn't it?
And then Ben Foster's gone now.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Mad Jack.
Yeah, rip Mad Jack.
Ben Foster.
It meant nothing in the episode, but I don't care.
Yeah.
It meant nothing.
What about the one that says "miss you"? That was the first one they
opened. I never want to miss you again. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's like it's a dead dog or something.
Well, Russell last week said, "Pay attention to what they say on the scrolls," which might have just been the Mad Jack one, but also will the "miss you" come back? Maybe Moriarty. Did you miss me?
Oh my God, it's Susan.
It's Susan. Oh, Susan went to the cliffside.
And I don't mean Susan Twist.
Watch them fucking talk about that on the official Doctor Who podcast. Could it have been Susan? They wouldn't even know who Susan is.
You know, Ruby was busy tit-talking in the TARDIS, and then Susan came and she missed her. So cringe.
All right, so...
Stop it.
Fuck,
what happened next?
So Ruby has now gone out. She's living on her own. She's been banished by Carla.
I love the needle drop.
Oh, yeah. Russell has put in needle drops in, and I love it. It's so good. There
was one wig scene.
She had a few wigs on.
A few wigs.
Well, like extensions or something. I don't know hair stuff.
I want to go to New York, but I feel like, is there somebody else? I love that.
Oh, and it turns around. You can see this. Oh, it's so good.
It's almost like, it's dark humor. It's like, it's funny, but it's like also really creepy.
It's a bit grim.
I made baby reindeer references, and I love how, and also that I know a lot of people have also said because there's been an election announced in the UK.
Yeah.
This episode timing, and with last week with just how horrible all these fucking wars are in our world. We've got two big wars going on at the moment.
Doctor Who knows
it kind of comes out
look 2 years ahead and be relevant.
Yeah, and yeah.
Well, you said quite early on, what is this, baby reindeer? About the whole like stalking thing.
Yeah.
But then like when it gets to the point and you can see Ruby like smiling when she's on her own, but there's one person that's still there with her.
The toast.
You can see her start to smile and enjoy it, and it's like, this is fucking Baby Reindeer. Like that's sort of what happens in Baby Reindeer.
And I love how you can never be like, oh, it's like copying because it's like filmed 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it is different enough that it's not
Stunning.
copying, but
Stunning piece of TV.
it's just like another little commentary on like obsession and things like that, right?
Absolutely.
Where,
the Kate scene I absolutely loved.
oh, it was so good. And I had a theory. I knew that scene was going to be really late on in the episode because we could tell early on this episode was going to be about like the doctor going missing and then what happens. And you know, I think we all said Millie was looking a little sleepy in those scenes when they were filming with Kate. Yeah, you could tell that she looked a little bit not all together. And I didn't. Yeah, so I was like, this is going to be a part in the episode where Ruby is really getting pushed to her limits. And I love that, like, the last straw is like, let's give the ultimate saviors unit. Let's get them in with all the technology and all their shit.
Even that's not enough.
Even they turn crazy shit.
Yeah, it was so great to see Kay again. We did see it through filming pics. For some dumbass reason, I thought it would be. When film was going on, I thought the slugs were connected to the politician storyline.
They were filming it in the same block.
They were filming it simultaneously.
The slugs are next week, folks. That's a dot and bubble.
Dot and bubble. To see Kate back was fantastic. I love Kate. It just worked for me. Unit, you're right to set them up as this huge presence and then just sort of like knock them down. I love how she mentions that, you know, they give the Doctor's old gives the Doctor's old companions jobs. Great reference. Will we be seeing some other old faces? Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows?
Sometimes I feel like in TV shows when characters throw stuff, it can either look really forced or like kind of cringe.
Yeah.
I love how she threw the cup.
Yeah, she loves breaking glasses. Ruby does.
She's like, I said, I'm sorry.
She does it in Church on Ruby Road.
True.
She's a glass breaker, mate.
Is there some kind of connection there?
Ruby is Susan.
Ruby is Susan.
If Susan ever breaks a glass in an episode, please reach out.
I just love that. So when we see Unit again in the final, Ruby would already have met Kate. It's already been set
Ruby
up.
will be like, you fucking left me.
Yeah.
Although she probably won't remember that. So
no.
That's going to be weird to explain.
This kind of is like the darkest timeline almost. Like it is like a turn left where this is what
would happen if the Doctor disappeared.
Could go wrong.
Kind of.
It's just the Banshees of Inisherin of Doctor Who. I just don't like you anymore, Ruby.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Baby Reindeer meets Banshees.
So Ruby then goes and she sees the Roger Ap Williams thing. She recognizes him, the whole Mad Jack thing and the nuclear war reference that the Doctor said. And so she's like, I know what I've got to do. So then we have this whole political side where she's like doing politics and learning to hold coats so that she can...
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, man.
I know you mentioned this in the Beatles and Devil's Claw when they had to use the... What did you described it really well when they did a little throwback to the beginning of the episode and they played the audio and they played the footage again to remind the audience.
Yeah.
How did you feel they handled it in this episode with showing that the Doctor mentioned the whole...
I think it was
politician and blah, blah, blah.
I think it was fine that using like flashback and narration from early in the episode.
Narration,
yeah. It's a rather dialogue because it's like the Beatles one. The reason I had a problem with them doing that callback, it's not so much that it happened. It's just that like the episode did such a like poor job at keeping the Beatles relevant in the episode.
Yeah.
That they then to round off the Beatles character arc, they had to reuse dialogue. Where I don't think this is that case. This is like an episode that there's been a big time jump. There's and it's not like a big closing off of a character moment. It's just us. There's no other way to do that because if not, Ruby would just be like, she'd see Roger Ap Williams and go, I know what to do. And then whereas this is like, I don't know. It just works. That's all I could say. Like it just works a lot more than the Beatles one.
I said to you in the theatre room, was there a sex joke in Doctor Who?
What, did Stephen Moffat do a pass of this script or something?
Because she said, apart from the bed stuff, that was you. Mm-hmm. Is that referring to sex? That he's bad in the bed? No, it's
about cuddling.
Okay, all right. Yeah, baby. Okay. All right, I like a good sex joke.
Mm-hmm. So then we have the whole plot of, Ruby so infiltrating Roger Ap Williams. We see that they're, they got that lovely front, but then they have that like darker side where they're like, oh, can we cut that part where... He alludes to nuclear warfare and shit.
And he also is it's implied that he possibly, I'm going to be careful with my words here, and trigger warning, I suppose, as well. He also...
it might have been an act of like sexual assault or something.
Sexual assault or maybe of force in nature.
Yeah.
Used.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm so like impressed with A, how it was handled, and B, just that they went there.
Yeah.
It's a really, sometimes I feel like Russell doesn't handle some sensitive topics very well. This, I think he handled super well.
It was, really, really well done.
Slimy ass politician. They're all dogs, and Russell hates them, and I think it just showed it really well. I'm really glad they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really spooky part of the episode where she turns around and she's like, "He's a monster." It's like, fuck, that's so rough.
Because he does. He wins the election.
Yep.
He is a monster. All this, like, there were so many great locations, like all the pubs, like just the.
And we go to Cardiff Stadium at the end.
The stadium, even the room where they were doing all the election stuff.
Yeah.
Everything just looked so
stunning.
It looked great.
Stunning, mate.
Yeah, stunning.
Stunning.
Yeah, stunning.
So then we have like Ruby doing the whole getting her phone to make sure.
Don't go on the grass, Ruby.
She's like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna stand on your grass, bitch."
Yeah.
And line up Roger Williams with the 73 yards lady.
What did she say to him? I mean, it could be implying that they don't always say the same thing. They could say something different to each person.
They could, yeah. It's just something that makes him go running.
Again, it's the suitcase with the shiny.
You never fucking know,
suitcase,
and I don't want to know.
No, again, I can guarantee you people will be like, and I saw some advanced reviews saying this, like, it leaves a little to be desired. But for me, again, I think that no matter what you do, it's like, I think that it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been cooler than your imagination.
Don't explain it. Don't explain it. You don't need to. Don't need to do it.
I did like the shot when he was running out of the...
I know, it's so funny. Like the news shot of him running out.
Just talk to the woman. Talk to the woman.
Crazy. But then we're left with like this great final act of Ruby getting super old.
So I'm such a fucking dumbass. Right. So I didn't think, obviously this is, again, it was my first view, and give me a little bit of a break, folks, but obviously time does pass and it's like 2034 or something.
Yep.
And then it says 40 years. Because I was like, isn't Ruby meant to be like 19? And I'm like, if she was 40, she's only like 60. And I'm like, my dad's 16. He doesn't look like that. So I had a dumbass moment. Should have been like 75, 80, 73.
Well, no, because about like 10 years, 15 years had passed with Ruby already. So she would have been 30, 35 last time we saw her. And then she'd be about probably like 75.
Was it a 40-year, John?
40 year to the old lady, yeah.
So it would have been... Maybe she was 73.
Yeah. Yards.
Kill yourself.
You mentioned as well, really cool. The
wobbly on
the perception filter almost, with the TARDIS.
It's not so much about the perception filter, but
I think it is.
It's not. It's about monoliths and how people start worshipping stuff and then forgetting why they...
Because of the perception filter.
No, but it's a commentary on things in life. Like, you can talk about religion like that. You can talk about, like, big things. You start, like, worshipping stuff, and it gets to a point where you sort of forget why you were worshipping it in the first place. And so that's why there's that whole reference. They're, like, putting the flowers on it. And then Ruby's like... someone's like, why do they put the flowers there? And Ruby's like, I don't know. They've just started worshipping it for some reason.
Almost like a perception filter.
Do you even know what a perception filter is?
Yes.
It's when you don't notice it.
Yeah, well, you don't notice it sometimes. Religion. You don't know why you do things, but
I don't know why the fuck you're talking about perception filters, mate, but we'll move on. So Ruby sat there having a look again, just like having one last gaze at the TARDIS, plus she goes back to the hospital
and dies.
Fucking carks it, mate. That's so spooky when the lights are going and like the 73 yards lady's getting like finally getting close and close and close. You never get to see her face.
And I like that a lot.
Oh, it's so good.
Love that, yeah.
And then Ruby dies, and then it's like fade in on that amazing... It was almost like a Wes Anderson-esque shot, I thought, where it was like shot of the hands, and they were just like kind of just... There was just something weird about it. POV.
What's your theory? Because you know everything about this episode, apparently. What's your theory on what? So is it Ruby?
I think it's Ruby, but I almost
But
think
it wasn't played by the same actress.
no,
The old actress, yeah.
but I think I'd have to rewatch it again. I don't know if there's some commentary there of like, you're always looking so far off into the distance that you don't know what you have right next to you, sort of thing.
Right.
So she becomes like sort of obsessed with this thing in her life.
Yeah. That's a cool.
But I don't know. I don't know. If
But
that's what
also,
they're
she
going
says
for.
this is the third time she's been.
Yes.
At the beginning, she says, I've been to Wales twice.
So I don't know if this is like deja vu about alternate timelines or something like
Right.
that.
I don't know. And again, I ain't mad about this. I generally like that it's to be read into.
Yeah.
Because the doctor's like, well, when was your third time? And she's like, now? But, yeah.
Strange,
but again,
isn't it?
it's not like there were so many things in like...
And that final bit where she says now, just that being the last word made me think, oh, they're trying to do like a Ruby's now more present. She's not looking into the distance. She's being present in herself. But maybe this is me being like film wanker.
there was just so much shit in Devil's Core, like the Doctor being like scarred by generation. That just made me question shit and be like annoyed. This is completely different. This is the kind of stuff I like, where you can read into it and people can have their theories as to what. Again, I promised myself I would never say this on the show again, because I think it really sucks if you're a person watching this review and being like, well, why am I even bothering? But it's like, yeah, I do think a rewatch would be... but I hate to say that, because it's like, it kind of makes it sound like, oh, maybe my opinion's going to completely change.
That's great television and movie though. Like, you like it. You don't need to rewatch it to know that you like it. We can critique it all we want. It's just good television and movie often takes a few watches to fully understand certain bits, because stuff gets set up earlier on that you maybe haven't realized what that is until you do a rewatch, knowing the full story, literally that full circle of life that happens in the episode.
Yeah, I definitely think, for me personally, along with Boom, this is definitely going to be an episode that I constantly go back to. And I don't want season 1 to be filled with duds with the odd, really great episode. But if that's what it is, then I'm glad we at least get episodes like this and Boom.
Well, and we both enjoy Space Babies a lot. And neither of us hate Devil's Cord. We think it's all right. But I think in terms of like, currently we're at like a 50-50 ledger of episodes that are incredible and then episodes that are just fine.
I just don't think next week's going to hit well with me.
Yeah, Dot and Bubble. I saw that.
Next time trailer looked fucking dreadful.
They've not showed a lot of Dot and Bubble in the promo, in the full series trailers. So I was like, oh, maybe it's got a few twists up its sleeve, And then we finally got the next time trailer at the end of this episode, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
Really, and it's the same director as this episode?
They'll probably be well directed. But I'm like, I just don't give a shit about like Sci-Fi Planet episodes, to be honest.
Is the other one just going to be in like those screens the whole episode?
Oh, so lame.
I know. It doesn't look... It's just sucks, and I'm not looking forward to Rogue because I'm just not a fan of that. Like,
I'm keen for Rogue.
Bridgerton kind of time period. I don't really give a shit about that kind of thing.
The new season of Bridgerton just dropped, so they should have bloody had that episode come out this week.
Oh my Bridgerton.
Oh my Bridgerton.
Yeah, it's just that kind of... So it's like the next 2 weeks, I might not be as excited for eps.
Definitely for me, it's like the ones I'm most excited for have now gone, that being 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
So...
The final's in the cinema, though. Your thoughts on that?
Not in Australia, so don't give a fuck.
No, but like, do you feel like it's going to be... do you think is it worth... I mean, I know we got stuff like the pilot in the cinema.
We did get the pilot in
but,
cinema. What the fuck?
But, so this might be a bit of a silly question, but do you think it's like, surely it's warranted? Like, maybe it's really that big?
Yeah, I think it's a cool thing. I'm keen for that. I like that people get to do that. The fact that people are complaining that it's being shown at the cinema at midnight, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, shut up.
Are you 4 years old? Have you never been to, like, for big premieres and stuff, midnight screenings are very, very common. We saw The Force Awakens at midnight. Did you see Last Jedi?
I saw all 3 of the...
I saw all 5.
Yeah, because you saw Solo and Rogue?
Yeah, at midnight.
Rogue One?
These are Star Wars movies, if you don't know Star Wars.
I only saw all 3. I saw 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah. No, I went all 5
When it was at
midnight.
9, I remember just being like, why am I here?
Yeah.
The difference in like hype and just crowds. Like, remember going to see Force Awakens, you were like nose to nose with people. Every theater was booked.
We got there like 5 hours early and the line was already massive.
I have an old vlog of it somewhere, but like, yeah. And then skip, what was it, 6 years later, 5 years later to Return of the Rise of Skywalker. I don't
yeah,
even know what it's
Rise
called.
of Skywalker. Yeah,
It was just so empty and dead, and it just felt so depressing.
it was a shocker.
Anywho, yeah, I'd love to have seen it in the theater.
Ray and fucking Kylo kissed, and there was
Half my theater
I know, it was
cheered and
so
half
mixed.
my theater groaned.
it was so weird.
I've never seen an audience reaction like that in a theater where people audibly were disgusted or pleased.
I've never in a cinema because I don't like to ruin experiences for other people. But the one time in a cinema where I just burst out laughing at something that was just so ridiculous to me was when Palpatine like shot his electric things up into the spaceship, and I just lost my shit laughing. I was like, "What is going on? What the fuck has happened to Star Wars?" Anyways,
I've only watched that movie like I think one and a half times.
I might have seen it two or I think I've seen it 3 times because I saw it twice at the cinema and then once on Blu-ray.
I got COVID. When I first got COVID, I went through all the movies and I literally just watched all of them and all the rogues and solos, and I got halfway through Rise of Skywalker and I just never finished it.
God damn. Don't blame you.
Me either.
Anywho, so that is sort of 73 yards. It's going to be cool to
I think we did a really good
recap.
Can you tell when you're really? Because I feel like last week, I feel like you didn't know, not in a bad way. I've had this, but sometimes I just don't know how to verbalize my thoughts.
Yeah.
I feel like at least this week we're both on the same page.
Yeah. I think it was a banging ep of the show.
Not shitting on you, obviously. I've been there. I'm not saying that I haven't.
Fuck, I'll get better. Okay.
And I won't bring up the perception
I
filter
knew you were
again.
going to make that joke, you fucker.
Kill yourself.
Thank you. Connor, what do you want to give 73 yards out of 10?
Honestly, I'm thinking 8.5.
8.5. Gee whiz.
I would say I enjoy Boom more, but
Yep.
this is a very close race, and I'm just basically my one sentence recap would be like, I'm just so glad an episode like this exists.
Do you know what I'm going to give this?
9.
9.
Well done, Aiden.
I really like this one a lot, mate. I really like it a lot. And I think like it'll be interesting to dissect it a little bit more on our preview pod for next week's episode once we have like revisited it and sort of dissected the themes a little bit and had a bit more time to chew and process and eat that shit up.
Well, that's all right then.
It is all right then. Thanks.
I'm so glad that an
NPH.
episode like this exists.
Yeah.
Now I can say Wild Beyonder, Boom, and 73 Yards are episodes that I'm just so glad exist.
Well, out of 8 episodes in R2D2 so far, we've got 3 that are top tier.
That's what I mean. Like,
We're in a good time for Who, I think.
Even if this whole era doesn't work out for me, and I still don't know how I feel about it. Even if it doesn't work out for me, and maybe if all this Disney Plus shit goes down the pan, at least we have episodes like this where we can be like, oh, remember that time when it was at Disney and we had an amazing budget? Yeah, so I'm a very happy customer.
Yeah, take my money, Disney.
It's worth getting up for. I'm
It
not
is.
mad. You know, I'm very glad.
You got here on time today.
I did.
Which is very good.
I did.
Awesome.
I'm very proud of myself
You
for
should
that.
be. Well done.
I woke up once again. That's early. That's 6 days straight.
Good bloke.
I woke up early once again. That's 6 days straight.
All in the name of Who. We'll be back, folks, on Wednesday, previewing Dot and Bubble and also looking at your reviews of 73 Yards, seeing if our thoughts have changed at all on it. So if you want to start writing down your comments below, your little one-sentence opinions on the episode, maybe specific moments, get doing that. Make sure you subscribe. If you haven't already, follow us everywhere. Give us 5-star reviews, all that shit if you like us talking about Doctor Who. Can we get into the top 100 again this week?
Oh, come on. You can do it.
We can do it.
Please give me something to show my parents so they're a little bit proud of me.
All right.
Silence, girl.
Let's wrap the show.
It's
Aidan and Connor's podcast. We're doing Doctor Who reviews
on a Saturday.
Doing Doctor Who reviews. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Sir, emergency. I think I've been run over by a cab.
Thanks, Strax.
No worries. The most obscure sound bites on this board. Some are really easy to use.
Well,
Most of them are just like, when would that ever get used?
Send me more then.
I will. Why didn't you come in your TARDIS, that Pierre Davison clip? That's funny. I like that one.